Well, this one I'm doing this time is called These Boots, BOOTS. Some time ago, I bought some boots in Okotoks, Alberta. If you look down at my feet, which you can't do right now, you will see I gave myself a treat. See my boots? There's a store there where they sell clothes for shoes for ladies and for men. I would like to give this store a perfect 10. It's a consignment store and it's stocked with great clothes, clean and stylish and lots of super things. I fell in love with these boots right at that time. My heart stood still. They were mine for sure. Wherever I go, as often as we do, I find it very hard to walk out empty-handed from that store. But the story about these boots are far much, much more, and this I want to share. For every time I wear these boots, they receive so much attention. So many since I've had them, almost too many to mention. Like example, love your boots, or great boots, or for men and women too, or telling others, do come look, and lots of smiles and time to share. I have never had so many nice remarks wherever I do wear them. So like the song that Nancy Sinatra sang, these boots are made for walking. I'll wear them for a long time yet, because it's not that they look so good, because it gets people talking.
So at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I realized that I don't have a new poem. So I went to my happy place and I wrote a poem. I come here to work. Tables are aplenty, serenity is aplenty. I don't get bothered if I can't be bothered. Mind gets lubricated, hand steadies, soul calms. I get stuff done here. I come here to socialize. Experiences are aplenty, diversity is welcome, I am accepted despite all my exceptions. Humans are usually humane and doggos are cutie pies. I feel at home here. I come here to shop. Flowers are aplenty, cucumbers are aplenty, costume jewelry is mesmerizing, drinking horns are exquisite. And local is promoted. Wallet empties, but fridge fills. I can't wait for the Christmas market. I come here to drink. Beer is artisanal. Brewers are magicians. I come here to forget, but I leave with a memory of the good taste in my mouth and a comforting word in my ear. I leave with wanting to come back. Today, I came here to write. The wind was picking up, the mood was cloudy, and the ale was cloudy too. I came to get my fix. I got my fix of booze, inspiration, and community. Theoretically, I always leave here a piece of me. My molecules to reunite with molecules of humanity. Today, I left with poetry. Poetry at the brewery. Thank you.
This first poem, you know, we're all born equal, and then the world comes along and tries to tell us we are not. In today's world of nonstop judgment, racial equality, inequality, and gender bias, we are often identified, labeled, and judged just for being the way God made us. My brother and I were throwaways. We both ended up in the system, and the system wasn't kind. Only one of us survived. This poem is a true story. It's about my big brother. His name was Dwight. Dwight was born biracial at a time when it wasn't all right to be biracial. Dwight was born gay at a time when it wasn't all right to be gay. Dwight's mother abandoned him because she didn't want a biracial child. Dwight's foster parents ridiculed him because they didn't want a gay son. Dwight's friends beat him because they didn't want a fag for a friend. Dwight jumped off a bridge in Vancouver in 1969 because he didn't want to live. He was my big brother. His name was Dwight. All lives matter.
This poem here, I've written a while back, is I kind of used it for promoting my book, The Theater. I call it The Theater because life is like a big stage and everybody has roles in life. This is a story about a person who was born and raised in the alleyways. He's homeless and that, but as he gets older, he realizes there's a better life out there. So he wants to break out of the cycle so he can make a better life for himself. So here it goes. It's kind of like a trailer to the book. Daniel, strolling down alleys and the streets, spearing his life of hate upon the passing walls. This is all he seeks. Wandering in the past, wandering in the future. He watches his face disappear in a weather-beaten theater across the street. This is what he fears. A moment of reality, a fantasy. He dreams crawling up upon the stage with his love and pride, singing his life earnings out to the audience. His words flows like a dove. In the limelight, box office headliner, sweeping people off their feet, raising the roof so bittersweet. Crowds cheer with sincere, roses thrown from the gallery. Girls, oh yes, the girls blowing kisses. Ushers hustling, bustling, trying to get the crowds under control. Song so refined, dancing so defined. Life breathing, far seeing, far reaching. Runway electrifying, audience induce, seduce. Daniel, a curtain riser, steal the show, a show that's never ending. The toast of the town. A window breaks, shattering across the stage floor. In a blink of an eye, the spotlight burns out. The curtain closes. His fans' applause runs down the gutter. A play, thumb screwed, one point of view. An actor that's crowfoot, stranded, barefooted in life's bitter route. A prisoner in a moment of a weak-sighted dream. Oh, Daniel, you misguided child. Wish you could stay a while. There's no foresight, there's no footlight. Rolling in the dirt with the parasites. It doesn't seem right. Daniel saw himself for a moment. Thank you.
I wasn't going to read this one tonight because I think I did it before on Owl Poetry, but after PJ's poem, and if any of you are following the Collective Trauma Summit, Thomas Hübel's summit, the poet today was a Lakota poet from the United States, and her topic was a great deal about the residential schools, or the boarding schools as they were called in the States, and the horrors. So I wrote this poem just about a week before Canada Day, and I was thinking about Canada and what it meant. So this is called Oh Canada. Do you hear them? Do you hear them calling? Do you hear them calling to your heart for acknowledgement? I hope so. I hope every Canadian, every human heart hears their voices, 215 voices and more, calling us to account, calling us to affirm they did not die unmourned, unnoticed, calling us to face the reality of our country's past and present. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, in truth, our home, the first natives' land. True patriot love demands we face and recognize our country's shame, our sickening, sordid past. I used to think the post-war Germans protest we didn't know, was a shameful excuse, a blind denial of reality. But now I think I understand. We, that is, people like me, didn't know either at the time of its happening what was being done to our first peoples. I grew up in a world recovering from a terrible war, a war that had raged globally, a war that took many millions of human lives and forever changed the lives of millions more. Yet this was a brave new world full of optimism and hope, with baby boomers being born in record numbers, at least for people like me, growing up in white middle-class neighborhoods where everyone belonged, even those few whose accents told of past escape from other lands to build new lives in this good land, unless perhaps their accent was German. Children like me went to white middle-class schools, attended white middle-class churches, joined organizations like Brownies and Guides, took swimming lessons at the Y. We felt secure and confident in our future. Meanwhile, children just like me, except for accident of birth, children who had first claim to this land we all so blithely called home, were being forcibly torn from their families, from all that was familiar, herded into mostly church-run schools where they were fortunate if they survived. Tales of cruelty, abuse, even murder did not surface for many a long year. It was in truth a genocide, for even those who survived their childhood were not supposed to have any Indian left in them. I did not know. Did my parents know? My teachers? My Sunday school leaders? Certainly many did know, those who approved it, those who took part in it in any way. Oh, Canada, you hid your dirty secrets well. I was in my mid-30s before I learned of another national outrage, that involving Canadians of Japanese origin, potential spies for their motherland being the excuse for ripping them from their lives and livelihoods, stealing their property, and herding them into isolated internment in what we refused to call concentration camps. Oh, Canada, the true North, strong and free. With glowing hearts, we celebrate this Canada Day and every day the good there is about our land. But with what are our hearts glowing? It cannot be pride, for we must now face our national shadow, our national shame. We whites are called to atonement and much must change. Our hearts must glow with a demand for justice. Residential schools may now be closed, but their lethal legacy will last for generations. Those drunks we fear and disdain passed out in our city parks or lurching around on downtown streets. There is a reason they're like that, and it's not lack of character and will. Far too many reserves do not have safe, clean water, yet year after year, governments refuse to act. Our prisons have a disproportionate number of Indigenous inmates, and we don't even know how many First Nations women have been kidnapped and murdered along lonely highways or even from busy city centers. And it's still happening. Indigenous and other Canadians who don't pass as the societally sanctioned white face discrimination and difficulties every day. If we really want God to keep our land glorious and free, we white folks must wake up, confess and acknowledge our faults and change our national ways. 215 children's voices are calling from unmarked graves, and their number is increasing as more graves are found, marked only by Creator's tears. How can we stand on guard until we own our guilt and make true reconciliation from the heart, and not just in word, but in deed? Oh, Canada, we have sinned. We have sinned. We have most grievously sinned.
poem that I wrote recently because a friend of mine was asking this question, and it's the title of the poem. What is your soul looking for? Well, today, mine is hungry for a life full of late September days of golden slanted light and turquoise blue skies. My soul is hungry for spaciousness, like when the forestry road climbing the slope opens onto full prairie, nothing dotting the sky for at least 100 miles. My soul is hungry to be held in the arms of the forest, too, that nursery of life, nursery of a plethora of forms. My soul is hungry for the quiet of silence, that black velvet of possibility within blinding fullness. My soul is hungry for the abundance, the generosity of leaves and fruit, countless, plenty, that surrender themselves to all who hunger. What we need is often right around us, I remind myself. My soul is hungry to be this abundance too, to be plenty, and to surrender it all whenever needed. My soul longs to know you, to be with you even longer than the decades we've known, to know your mystery and depths, reminder of all the mysteries right around us. My soul is hungry, and my soul is satisfied.
I wrote this recently in this year. It's not one of my first poems, but it's one of the first ones I've shared. It's called Let There Be Light. Let there be light to balance the dark, like day balances night. Let there be love to balance the hate, like wrong is balanced by right. Let there be wisdom that's armed to the teeth so that ignorance fades away. Let there be light to balance the dark, and with love, start each brand new day.
Good evening. I'm happy to be here. Tonight I'm going to read my poem, Raised by Wolves. When you're raised by wolves, you learn to growl. You learn to snarl. You learn to bite. You're raised to fight. When you're raised by wolves, you're part of the pack. As a young pup, you're taught to attack. No one goes it alone in a wolf pack. There, someone always has your back. But when young pups go off to school, teachers demand quite different rules. No howling or growling, no biting or fighting. How can a young wolf pup fend off attack when disallowed to ever fight back? When left alone, they're much too vulnerable to those who are known to be culpable. Confused, disoriented, in disarray, the lone pup becomes the victimized prey. We need to ensure that those left alone are protected, just like our very own. Let's remember, no one goes it alone in a wolf pack. There's always someone who has your back.
This poem has no name, and I wrote it, I started writing it the day before our last Owl Poetry. Okay. What a privilege it is to see you there. Not even a speck to cover you up. I marvel at all of you, every detail, noticing how unpredictable your world must be. But maybe it's not. Perhaps you know many of these cycles, as you are immortal. What a privilege it is to see you there. There is no light to take away from your beauty, as your beauty comes from the space you hold. You're the home for all these stars, constellations, space rocks, and so much more. And when you are bare, their light shines through. What a privilege it is to see you there, especially tonight, as the Perseid meteor shower passes by, meteor after meteor, striking, shooting, soaring above us, some even erupting into magical like fireballs. Some you can hear as they shoot past us, all leaving me breathless. What a privilege it is to see you there.
I wrote this poem a few days ago for a specific purpose. I got diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder 3 years ago, and I've told my family and friends, but I've never talked about it on a public platform before. So I posted this poem to my friends list to let everyone know what it was like for me. The poem is titled, My Beautiful Autistic Brain. Some may wonder, some may think, how does her ship never sink? Storms always approaching, threatening my safety, taking control, navigating the crashing waves. Some may call it a disadvantage, some may call me weird, some may wonder about my autistic brain. It is absolute beauty, total freedom, when harnessed, unlimited potential. You see, I see the patterns, I see the games, the inner working of systems, the rapid processing of ideas and emotions. Don't let anyone tell you you're limited, because you are not. Don't let anyone make you feel small, as you can be as big as you want. Say goodbye to the haters, say goodbye to the fiends. Don't let anyone steal your dreams.
This one I wrote on June 6, 2021, which, if you don't know, was the day this year that there was a Muslim family attacked in London, Ontario. It left 4 family members dead and 1 child orphaned. This is the poem I wrote about that. Grief is an old friend. She tastes like the ocean, the salt of our tears which stain our cheeks. She smells like the flowers we lay upon the grass, symbols of beauty masking our pain. She is seen in the darkness, the shadows dancing upon the wall, brought to life in the candlelight. She feels empty and hopeless and angry and alone. Grief is heavy. She drags me to my knees, forehead and nose to the earth in prayer. I see my brothers and sisters standing shoulder to shoulder, tears streaming down our faces with hands raised to the sky. I see a boy, now orphaned and alone in a hospital bed, wishing for his mother's embrace. But he will not feel it again. Not until the trumpets call and the buildings fall and we stand before our Maker. And to him we return, and to him we return, and to him we return. May he have mercy on our souls.
So this is a fairly newish poem that I read to my other poetry group, but I'd like to read it again. It's called Love Within Love. Love within love, word within words, a heart within my heart, breathing gently, loving completely. Hand held by a hand, dream within a dream, magic it would seem. A world within a world, stars in the sky, hope up on high, so beautiful, discreetly. A dance within a dance, meant to entrance, we go on forever, turning in romance. Song within a song, sung so sweetly, this song of love.
Home remedies. My friend has a fabulous home remedy for every ailment and disease. She says that chicken soup is the best for sniffles and colds. She takes white wine for headaches and red wine for low blood pressure. She drinks brandy for cramps and vodka for increased hair growth. Unfortunately, vodka mostly increases her chest hair growth. She takes a massage for muscle pain and does kickboxing for kicking ass. She says you better be smart if you want to be a smart ass, or else you are only, well, you know what. My friend uses castor oil on her abdomen for bloating and for severe PMS pain. She rubs coconut oil on her hands and certain other body parts we cannot mention here. My friend has a fabulous home remedy for everything, but when I asked her about the use of water, she said it is only good externally for showers and baths.
This one is relatively short and it's called Subversion. I wait till steps move away, voices mute. Carefully, silently, I open the door. Look left, look right. I tiptoe out of the office. Someone is approaching. I pretend I'm searching for something deep in my purse. Where are the damn keys? I mumble. The secret is to not look suspicious. If you look obvious, you won't look suspicious. They turn the corner. I'm safe. Now the corridor is really deserted. I approach my destination, stand there for a few seconds. The secret is to look like you have nothing to hide, like you are not doing anything wrong. Nonchalantly, I take the paper bag out of my purse, dump it into the bin. I keep walking as I adjust my hair. I feel cunning and righteous at the same time. As I dropped my household compost into the do not drop your household compost workplace compost bin. Thank you.
This one has no name. This is my most recent one. She is part witch, part extraterrestrial. Her aura, her words, she's so sensational. Everything she touches transforms into gold. She's pure magic in a mold. Oh, so bold. Unbelievably daring, she creates the impossible. You ask, how is it possible? And you hear a sound that echoes with no bounds. On and on it billows. She is freedom. She is freedom. Dost thou hear the heavenly song? Queen of liberty, turquoise waters flow through her veins. She's a mighty flame. What a sight to behold. The light of liberation, the flame of transformation. Oh, dost thou see how her eyes gleam? Violet fire, blue sapphire, transmutes and transpires, 'tis the golden hour. It is no make-believe. A threefold flame marching amongst men triumphant, uniting the nations once again, galaxies far and wide, singing in unison, rejoicing this great liberation. Hallelujah, hallelujah, 'tis the age of Ramon. Thou art the children of her heart, the legacy of her great love. The kingdom of God in form, an unbreakable bond. Much bounty awaits, much bounty awaits. Oh, gentle souls, just a little more patience. Thank you.
Okay, this poem I written about kids at the Strawberry Hospital and what they go through, like some in there from months and months and months on, and it's really great to see what the doctors and nurses do there all the time for them. Plus, it's really hardship on the parents. They got to keep going up there every day, trying to keep a happy face and everything else. But there's a lot of pressure on them too. Trying to keep a happy face, going up to seeing the kids and sitting in the hospital. So this one is called Through the Shine. Bound surround, I hem room, inspired groomed. Bushy tails hold all in the life-breathing walls to keep the ills at ease. Hardship throughout ongoing, but the hardened fight that lies within one, touching, moving. Inside eyes bright, a vow, everything's going to be all right. There will be a sure treasure, a memory home, a rainbow, an undertake, and a make, a dream wish, to take one away, to take the pain away, to brighten one's day, a dream wish. Nevertheless, through the shine, countless tears behind the words, I love you. Night falls on a promised soft pillow, a blanket warm and cuddly, with hopes of tomorrow that one can live a normal child's day. Thank you.
Just 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks and 2 days ago, I had knee replacement surgery. And I'm confined to home. I can't drive, which has made me a needy person who has to ask for help. So this poem is dedicated to all my benefactors, but specifically to Teri and Kat. It's called 2 Weeks and a Day. 2 weeks and a day post-surgery, I hobble my way uphill towards the hospital's cruelly designed entrance, seemingly in a slow motion race with another older woman pushing an identical two-wheeled walker. We, the slow plodding tortoises, to all the hares rushing past us to the finish line. Isn't this fun? She grins at me as we pull up side by side. At least it's not winter, I say. A blessing, she smiles. Once inside, I join the queue of people donning fresh masks and squirting hand sanitizer everywhere, some small amount finding its mark. Then slowly social distance my way to the COVID query tables, every step a recurrent pain. Once I've sworn I've not left Canada in the past 2 weeks, I turn around and follow a parallel line back to the long corridor down which I must now somehow walk to find the physio department. I check in, sit for a much needed breather, then set to again along another long hallway, and finally I reach my destination. A good half hour of painful work mediated by an offering of a much needed glass of ice filled with water, a straw slipping under my mask, and I am free to take the long trek back to exit the hospital. Outside in a soothing, cool breeze in shade, I call my ride and wait, awestruck by the glorious autumn scene, blue sky, fluffy clouds, and vivid orange-yellow leaves raining down on the street across the way. Did you have knee surgery too? A voice says behind me. I turn and see a woman also in shorts with a similar incision. 2 weeks ago, I say. Me too. We chat a bit, and then my ride arrives. I think about the pain, the suffering, and the courage, all of which seem to break down social inhibitions as stranger calls to stranger to remind us we're never alone. Our pain, our suffering is never just our own. I think about kindness, of the self-giving generosity of friends who call in concern, who rearrange their lives to give a needed ride, who bring gifts of food to my door. I think about the cycle of the seasons, how life seems to just go on, adjusting to whatever arises. And my friend drives me home in a cocoon of caring. I'm weary and in pain, but my heart is singing, my soul fulfilled. This is the road to healing.
This is called A Darkness versus Light. It was written last year. Is darkness an illusion that begets confusion whenever the apparition comes around? Is darkness something evil or something so primeval that it frightens us with its empty sound? Is darkness the home of creatures with ugly, foul features to make you want to run away and scream? Or is darkness a place of pleasure, of comfort, reserved for leisure, the quiet time to rest, to love, to dream. Is light a dreamer's vision that causes indecision? When in its presence we can see what's going on? Does not light disturb our slumber on those brightest days of summer, with its luster and its brilliance right at dawn? Is it light that sparks our ire, that helps ignite the fires? Light, it exposes everything we see. Or is light a thing of pleasure, a gift, a divine treasure, the one thing in our lives to set us free? Can one exist without the latter? And does it truly matter? For either and or not already do. For neither sister and or brother, both live without the other and have lived without each other for eons too. Light and darkness share the hours, and when one has more the power, that one pushes the others back a while. But in the end, both are equal to originals without sequel. We need them both, and neither is surely vile. Thank you.
So this poem I wrote a couple of years ago, but I haven't read it very much. So it's from the point of view of a bee, and it's a meditation on that phrase, busy as a bee. And the bee says, and you guys say, we're busy? Busy as a bee, you say? Congratulating yourselves on all your running around, spinning your wheels, living lives of not so quiet desperation? I am a bee, but I'm not busy. I'm gloriously, happily making ambrosia, food for the gods, and food for the bees who will replace me. If my honey is good enough for the gods, it's good enough for the baby bees. Liquid sunshine, light in the dark. Y'all make so much noise blathering away. When you're not yelling at each other, you're agreeing loudly, only with the people who think the same things as you do. But I get to dance my words, letting my hive mates know where the best pollen is by my midair movement. What would it be like if you all didn't speak, but danced instead of posting to the internet? My days are full, not busy, happy, not frantic. I don't go looking for a fight. You know, maybe you wouldn't either, if, like me, when you unfurl your weapon, it cost you your life too. Come, be as happy as a bee, as beautiful as a bee, but busy as a bee, never.
These are sad times. There's just no getting away from it. We've all lost people over the last couple of years. We've all found ourselves grieving and in pain. And recently, I wrote this poem on June 24th this year, 2021, as I and my fellow Canadians struggled to come to terms with the ongoing discovery of unmarked graves on the grounds of residential schools here in Canada, in honor of the many children who never returned home. This poem is called It Was the Land. It was the land. No one knew what evil men could do behind closed doors. No one spoke of it. No one said sorry. And in the end, it was the land, the very land itself, that spoke. It was the land that carried the secrets, that knew the truth, that yielded a million sorrows, that stopped us like a thunderbolt in the streets. God forgive us, the whispers were true. It was the land that spoke for thousands, denied a life, denied a family, denied a mother tongue. And as our grief-filled days stretched out before us like a blanket of fear from the land of the Mi'kmaq to Haida Gwaii, we were numb with disbelief. For it was the land, the very land itself, that spoke to us in the darkness, in the sacred smoke of our ancestors, and in the voices of our children who whispered on the wind, guiding us, showing us the way, telling us there will be a time for coming together as a nation, as a people, and as a family, to celebrate now and lift our brothers and sisters as never before. Our tears are never far from the surface. It always gets darker before the light comes back.
Okay, my second poem for this evening comes out of a visit that I made to long-term care in Lethbridge about a month ago. Her memories span almost 100 years. With such longevity, there's not much she fears. Survivor of teenage polio's ravage, she faced crippling with undaunted courage. Now, with strength failing, a weakening heart, trapped in a cubicle, she dwells apart. Her desire to sit in the warm summer sun is denied. Understaffing erodes that fun. She mentions an old friend lives on her floor. I go to visit, but find a locked door. To call on my pal on memory lane, a secret code keyed in, so access I gain. This ward's punny name is most cynical, as without stimulation, their memories will pale. My friend seems outwardly to be the same. He recognizes me and he says my name. Brightly, he asks after our kids he once taught. We talk politics, the good and the rot. Our visit goes well with stories replete until they begin to loop and repeat. As on my arrival, he starts anew. Our conversation has now gone askew. My visit to long-term care today has been too sobering in many ways. Disturbing and sad to watch my old friends in post-golden years, each facing the end. He needs stimulation. She is lonely. Low staffing precludes their meeting daily. Brains with failed bodies, bodies with failed brains. Lucky are those when both age out the same. This structured half-life of hell that they lead is what shareholders require to fit their needs.
It's going to be a very short one. It's from a poetry group, and it has no title. There are many small joys in my life, many small joys that bring me back, that cool me down like a breath mint. What simmers my fire, keeps me grounded, but still allows me to glide like water, just like gentle reminders on a breeze. Being outside, my senses are all of a sudden refreshed. Other senses are taking over, as if being rocked by a lullaby. A reminder that there is more to life. There is more to see, more to feel, to experience joy.
So this one's called Falling in Love. Whoever thought that a smile could be so entrancing? It was that, my dear, not even your romancing, that broke my heart open, and I fell deeper into the love well. Adorable you, man of wit and charm, a love, a protector from harm, the center of my heart. From my thoughts, you never part.
Man deemed me unworthy. God showed me my worth. Man deemed me shameful. God taught me to be shameless. Man deemed me dishonest. God deemed me honorable. Man deemed me weak. God showed me my strength. Man showed me my invisibility. God told me I'm invincible. Man told me I'm a hypocrite. God acknowledged my integrity. Man told me I'm nothing, and God told me I'm everything. Man loved me with conditions. God loved me unconditionally. Man saw me as an object. God saw me as an honorable warrior. Man deemed me powerless. God showed me my power. Man lowered me with judgment. God showered me with acceptance. Man wanted to keep me silent. God gave me the word. Man wanted to control me. God showed me I cannot be contained. Man left me divided. God met me at oneness. Man wanted me to remain a victim. God reminded me I'm a warrior. Man wanted to keep me oppressed. God told me I was created to be free. Man wanted to keep me in isolation. I became one with God and started a revolution. I will teach next time a man tries to teach me religion, I will teach man about triangulation. The biggest lie I was taught in this world is to trust victims of a biased, conditioned, fear-based, unhealed, unjust system to be a mediator between God and I. Now that the truth has been revealed, I am the authority, witness, and mediator. I do not have competition, and neither will I take on any. I invite you to come again and tell me who I am. I will gladly introduce you to yourself. Thank you.
So the title is Croatia. I have seen bullet holes on walls and buildings half demolished by missiles in Croatia. I have met people who still carry the horrors of the war in their hearts. I have talked with men who have seen their loved ones being shot. I saw the pain on their faces, even though it was buried somewhere deep. I have met people who were robbed by pillagers. I asked if they were angry. They said no. We started over again. We can still create what we have lost. I realized that life does go on, no matter what cards we were dealt. For some of us, it is easier, and for others, more difficult.
Today is the first day of autumn, 2021. And what a spectacular day. And the day has just begun. There's a soft breeze blowing, and yes, we see some sun. The grass is green again. Yes, we've had some rain, but now we have the trees. They are red, green, gold, and brown. So lift up your eyes and look, and please don't frown. When this time of year comes round, it makes you kind of mellow. People are out for a walk. And then when that happens, well, people talk. That's good. We need that, oh, so much. So I can talk to you, maybe I can't touch. We can still sit outside on the patios, but right now we can't go inside in restaurants or places. So we need to look at what we have in this land of ours, so beautiful and grand, the good things that we often take for granted. The birds have not yet flown away, and they always brighten up the day. I love to hear them sing. I really wish this time would last a little longer. I really do, because as soon as it comes, it's gone. And for me as well. That makes me a little blue. So maybe it does the same for you. This year again is almost gone. It doesn't seem to last that long. Or is it me? And that is very sad. But while it's here, let's be glad. It comes and then it goes, while the flowers settle down to sleep for yet another year. Yes, it's okay to shed a little tear. But next year it will be back. We all know that, so have no fear. The 4 seasons are so very special and so beautiful. So as we pass through these days, another season on its way, yet different and often very cold. Of course, it's winter, but you know, whatever time of year we're at or where we are in, let's enjoy the weather, because that's something we can all share together. Because, my friend, the best thing, the weather, it is free. Yes, the weather, it is free, and it's there for you and me. Thank you.
My little angel, my sweet angel, do you know how precious you are? You are true love in form. You are our precious song. When I sing to you, you sing along. The spark in your eyes melts my heart. Your smile brings joy to my world. I will forever hold you in my unconditional love. My darling little angel, I love you so much.
Okay, this one is called Grandmother. It was an ordinary summer afternoon, and I was about my ordinary business, standing in an aisle in London Drugs, pondering which toothpaste to buy, or perhaps it was soap, when I looked up as the sliding door whooshed open to let in 2 women. One was young, tall and lithe, lovely as only a girl that age can be. The other very old, short, solid on the ground, her face worn by weather and care. A granddaughter bringing her grandmother to shop, I thought. I don't know if they were Pikani or Kainai. I only know that time briefly froze, and so did I, captivated by the old woman's beauty. When time flowed again after the eternity of a second or two, I smiled at her and saw her face light up with an echoing smile like 1,000 suns, showering me with bounteous blessings from a source far greater than any of us. I became pure spirit in her presence. It took but a moment, yet the memory stays strong, traces of her grace-filled gift still there for me to treasure. I don't know who she was, but I do know this. Everyone whose path she crossed should recognize and honor her, for she was and is, for us all, grandmother.
My third one is called Summer Evening. The quiet rattle of leaves shaking in the wind. Evening sunlight wiggling through the leaves like shimmering water in a pond. Neighbors trimming hedges, sharing news, chatting kindly. Robins swooping into the crabapple tree, the original twitter right in my front yard. Traffic on the busy street, one street over. Fecundity of midsummer, 100 shades of green breaking into 1,000 by low sun, deep shadows. Grasses and weeds in every crack, reminding us that we're really not in charge here. All is moving. Leaves, grasses, branches, shadows, my digestive tract, my blood, my thoughts, the swirling atoms, the air, the sun, the planets, the galaxies. And here I am, halfway between an atom and a star, sitting still in the middle of it all. Peace, on a summer eve. Nothing trumps this.
I've read this one before, and it's called I'm Still Learning How to Rest. And you guys, I'm getting so much better at it. I'm really impressed with how I'm actually like listening to my body and stuff. And yeah, my mind and everything. Anyways. Okay. I'm still learning how to rest. I have to tether myself down first. I visualize roots growing from my feet, twisting and turning into the earth. Breathing in through my nose, picturing the air and molecules traveling down to my lungs, filling my belly and my chest, feeling as they rise and expand, as the air takes up space in my body, and holding it there. Parting my lips, allowing my warm breath to slowly escape. I repeat until my mind quiets and calms. A practice that I have not mastered yet. Calming the mind, learning how to rest.